Well, welcome to our webinar about digitizing QHSE processes. To kick us off, my name is Anya, and together with my colleague Stanley, we'll talk about the following topics. First, we'll give you a short introduction, and we'll talk about the 5 most compelling reasons to digitize your QHSE processes. We'll also walk you through some research that we've done ourselves in identifying the 5 challenges of EHS managers and how to overcome them. And we'll walk you through some real-world examples for you to learn from. And in the end, there'll be room for a bit of a Q&A.
Okay. Thank you, Anya, for the short introduction. So my name is Stanley, a colleague of Anya. We work at Captions. Perhaps in short, who we are. Captions is founded in 2008, and we are based in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. And our core business is we create software. So we are a software provider is offering a solution to support different QHSE management systems that are there in the world. So if we look at the companies that we've talked to, based on our experience, that we see that there are certain QHSE management systems that are already in place in many companies, which are usually also is based on a certain software platform or Excel, and even paper is still there. And perhaps an interesting fact to mention is that the first EHS management system, which is based on paper, was introduced in the early 1900s. And unfortunately, it was introduced because of the crash of Boeing B-17, where the engineers decided to use checklists for easier safety inspection, so to prevent such incidents in the future. And well, if you look at the goal of the QHSE management systems, it's pretty much still the same, because the goal is to create a safer work environment, and you can achieve that by using the so-called PDCA loop to improve your certain defined standards within your companies. So regarding the PDCA loop, the P stands, of course, for the plan. And with the plan, we see, well, what kind of goal you have defined, and the certain KPIs, key performance indicators that has been defined. So what kind of data are important for you to collect? Once you have defined that, then you need to go to the D part, which is the do part. And the do part is nothing more, nothing else than collect the data, the important data that is there for you. Once you have collected the data, you need to check the data, of course. And checking the data is based on the reports that you create, whether it is an automated report that has been created or manually. And based on that report, important report for you, you'll be able to detect certain deviations and perhaps create follow-ups based on the outcome. And again, that to improve the QHSE management process that you have. So in the continuous improvement cycle that you have. In short, we at Captions likes to helping great teams to achieve excellence by closing the so-called PCDA loop between goals and your outcome, of course.
On that note, we've recently published an ebook about the most compelling reasons to digitize your QHSE processes. And if you're interested in reading the whole ebook, let me know. I'd be happy to share it with you. But I'm just going to walk you through the 5 most compelling reasons to digitize. First off, paperwork doesn't work. We recently asked 300 EHS managers about their challenges in working with paper, and there were a lot. From incomplete forms to lost forms and unreadable handwriting, the list goes on and on. Basically sums it up, paperwork does not work. The second one is manual processes waste time and money. We did a simple calculation based on workers spending an average of 1 hour per day filling out forms. And if you apply this to a team of 10 field workers and 1 office worker, it works out to a total of 540 euros each day, or 186,600 euros spread out throughout the year. Third one is Excel is not exactly digitization. So if you're using Excel, that's not exactly digitization as we see it. A recent survey found that Excel is a commonly used tool in EHS management. However, according to Forbes, 9 out of 10 spreadsheets contain errors. And there's also no real-time insight, and Excel is not scalable. The pressure on QHSE managers is also growing. It's the information age, and you as an EHS manager need real-time insight so that you can prove the value of your work and instantly understand what needs corrective action. I think a lot of EHS managers feel this pressure and want to perform better. And I think the way to achieve this is through data. The last most compelling reason to digitize is that digital will soon be mandatory. OSHA is and already has been taking steps to mandate digitalization in health and safety. So it's best for EHS managers to follow the curve and be ahead of the actual mandate and start digitizing themselves.
So in addition, what Anja has just mentioned on the compelling reasons to switch, we have done our own research in 2018 among customers that we have from different branches, and we asked them about what their situation was before they switch over to a solution such as Captions, and what the challenges were. So the outcome of that research, we have put that in the 5 most common challenges. And well, not shocking at all, of course, at number 1, the administrative burden, which has been told by Anja. Well, I think that speaks for itself, because most of the companies were using still a paper-based process or Excel-based. So you need to manually fill in the data, and then also adding some pictures if required, and what have you. The second thing is the disengaged workforce. Regarding the disengaged workforce, it's following up from the administrative burden, of course, because the workforce that needs to capture the data, that is not their core business, of course, to capture that kind of data. But by asking them to do that, they need to spend and invest some time and effort. Once they do that, another question raised is they usually do not get any feedback from the data that has been captured. So that means, well, then the question will raise, why should I capture those kind of data? And that leads to, in our opinion, the unreliable data. Of course, if you are collecting the data on paper, there is a big chance that you cannot read the handwrite on the paper, or due to some reason that can be disappear in the process. So that kind of reasons leads into unreliable data capturing. Another challenge, of course, once you have the data there, how to build the report. Usually it's still manual, because you need to gather all the different data from different locations. Well, if you are a small company, then it is some kind of manageable. I assume that you recognize that. But once you grow and you have different locations, then it's going to be a bigger challenge to create the reports, especially if it is manual. And that leads into a lacking insight for the management, because you need to have those data to be able to go to the A part, which is the act part from the PDCA loop, to follow up on. Because based on the reporting, you will be able to see some trend that you can analyze and act there where needed. Not to mention that once you have the data or the insights, or not having those, that you won't be compliant if that is required by a certain law. And the other question is, of course, how about the data security? You know, if you have that on paper based, is it secure enough? Who have access to those data? And what if something happens, such as there's burning? Then you will lose the data as well. So these are the five most common challenges that has raised during the in-depth research that we have done in 2018.